if you have any questions about your grading, about the apps, about the fourth quarter, any questions about your expectations on the graduation, tell me now, because we will start the lesson, today's lesson. Today is going to be about quadratic equations. We started yesterday, right? Chapter 7. And a quick review, because yesterday we talked about square root property, how to solve quadratic equations applying square root property. We worked on this example. I don't know if you're going to remember this exact same example. 3x squared minus 75 equals 0. Then you have to apply some addition property, some multiplication property to simplify the equation, and finally at this point you're going to use the square root property. See, x equals positive or negative square root of 25. What is the number missing here on the last line, on the last step? Tell me, send me a message if you know, if you remember about yesterday. If you don't remember, don't need to be worried. Just check the previous step and maybe you're going to be able to figure it out. Yes, Maddie? Is actually 5. Great, Maddie, thank you. Thank you, Adrian, thank you, Keon. If anyone don't understand it, tell me now. The number that's missing is 5, but remember, this is positive or negative, right? The final answer is going to be x equals negative 5 or x equals positive 5. This is going to be the final answer, right? Negative 5 or positive 5. The quadratic equations, do you agree, Kalia? The number missing here at the end is 5, but you just have to remember this is positive or negative 5. That means x equals negative 5 or x equals positive 5. Those are the answers. The quadratic equations usually have two answers. One a negative answer, another positive. Okay? Usually you're going to find this. You're going to find two different answers. Okay? Agree? Okay, Kalia? So that's right. Thank you, Maddie, again. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you, Keon. That's perfect. Moving on, I'm so happy that you remember about yesterday, that you found the right answer. Today we're going to talk about completing the square. I don't like to say that things are difficult. This is not, I'm not going to say it's difficult, but sometimes it can be hard to visualize, to understand what means completing the square and to visualize it. And for that reason, I will skip this explanation because I think this doesn't help a lot. Let's skip this and move to the picture, because of this picture maybe we're going to be able to understand. Check this out. Maybe you also remember this picture from yesterday. This was our bell work from yesterday. Remember, we found that the area of the office, the whole large square, the whole square, the area is 25 square meters. Remember this from yesterday. And we can find this area by adding. We can add this square, 9. We can also add the rectangles. We have a rectangle area 6 square meters and area 6, both have the same area. So 2 times 2 rectangles with area 6. And we also have this tiny square here. Remember, it was the restroom. Plus 4. This is equals to the whole square, 25. Okay? Tell me if you can visualize, if you can understand. what you see, we are adding the rooms, the area of each room. We have the workroom, this is the big one, the restroom is the small square, and the other rooms, I think it's maybe the reception and maybe the conference room, that makes the whole office, the whole office suite. Okay? Now check the next picture and compare with the previous one. Check the next one. Something is missing. Something is missing. Can you see? Can you identify what's missing? Can you check the next picture and tell me what's missing? Something is not there. What's missing here? We have the large square. Yes, the large square is here. We have the two rectangles. The area of each rectangle is 6. But something is missing. We need to complete this square. What is missing? Can you tell me? Can you see the break? There's a spot that's empty. Can you see it? Anyone? What is missing here? What's the number that you have to add to complete the square? I want to complete the square here. I have to add a number. Is the area of this square that's missing?
4.
Yes, Jacob. 4 is the area of the square that's missing. The area equals to 4. And that is what it means, completing the square. We check, we find the square that's missing, and we add. We are completing the square. And this now is going to be equals to the large square, equals to 25. See, when we talk about completing the square, that's what we're doing. But we are not, on the quiz, we're not going to work with pictures, with geometry. We're going to work with formulas, okay? So the formula we will apply is this one. Check if it makes sense, okay? We have the large square is going to be a squared. The two rectangles, we have two rectangles here, 2 times a b, the two rectangles, and we have the tiny square, b squared. So instead of working with the picture, we're going to work with this formula. And we're going to complete this square by finding b squared. Right? Yes, you will. We work it on the Tiger Time, on this kind of thing, and now I think you can visualize, you can understand, right? What we were doing during Tiger Time on the quiz. We were finding this square that was missing. And that's what means completing the square. Yeah. Now let's move and apply to an example. Maybe you're going to understand better when we apply to an example. I'm going to work only on the first one. This first example here, ax squared plus 12x plus n. So x squared plus 12x plus n. We need to find n. N is the square that's missing. Okay? Let's compare this expression with the formula, the perfect square trinomial that we have here. So write down the formula, a squared plus 2. We can write 2ab or 2ba, the same thing. I'm going to write 2ba because I think it makes more sense, plus b squared. Okay? Compare the formula with the expression. We have x squared is going to be the a square of the formula. We have x is the a of the formula. That means 2b is equals to 12. 2b equals to 12. Divide both sides by 2. You're going to find b equals to 6. And we need to find b squared. b squared equals 6 squared equals 36. And that's the answer. That is the square that's missing. 36. N equals 36. Tell me if you can understand. We will practice, we will use this kind of step-by-step on the quiz today. And yes, if you're a bit confused right now, that doesn't matter. We're going to practice, maybe you're going to be less confused when we work on the quiz. But right now, if there's any step that you're not sure about, you didn't understand, you didn't know where the number came from, let me know. We are just applying this formula. It's the same formula. We have seen this on the previous slide on the picture. It's the square, the representation of the whole square. As you can see, 30 is going to be the right answer. It fits the equations on the horizontal lines. It fits the equations on the vertical lines. So, yes. Moving on, let's move to the practice round. On the quiz, find the value of n so that the expression is a perfect square trinomial. Let's work on the first one. We are completing the square. That's what we are doing. We're going to use the formula we've seen before. A squared plus 2. Is 2ab or 2ba is the same thing? I think it makes sense to use 2ba here. 2ba plus b squared. Just understand that this is going to be equals to a plus b squared. Okay, this is the reason this is a perfect square trinomial. But we're not going to use this right now. We're just going to complete the square. Compare the formula with the expression. So x squared is the a squared of the formula. X is going to be a of the formula, right? That means 2 times b equals 6. Divide both sides by 2. B equals 3. We need to find b squared is equals to 3 squared equals 9. 9 is going to be the right answer for letter A. Now you can try to solve the other questions. At some point, letter I on, you're going to have, it's the same process, the same step by step, but you're going to find an answer that's a fraction. I can help you out. And on letter M, on, you're going to find an expression that has this negative sign. It's a minus. And I'm going to explain how to solve it as well, okay, when you have the negative sign. All right, give me 1 minute so I can check attendance. For letter P, there's something slightly different here because we have the negative sign. But we have another formula, which is also a perfect trinomial. A squared minus 2ba plus b squared. This is equals to a minus b squared, okay? But we don't need this right now. We just need to compare this perfect square trinomial with the expression that we have here. So w squared is equals to a squared. W is going to be equals to a. That means negative 2b equals to negative 22. Divide both sides by negative 2. Then you have b equals Negative 22 divided by negative 2 is 11. We need to find b squared. You can use your calculator. B squared is 11 squared, means b squared equals 11 squared, 121. This is the right answer. Okay. Great. Jacob is asking also about B, C, and D. If you have questions, type in the chat, okay? I'm working on the questions that Jacob sent, but anyone else, if you have questions, you can type. Letter B. And compare, write down the formula. The formula here is going to be a squared plus 2ba plus b squared. Check the expression. X squared is going to be the a squared of the formula, and x is the a of the formula. That means 2b equals to 12. Divide both sides by 2. We have b equals 6. 12 divided by 2, 6. That means b squared equals 6 squared, 36.